Ladies, beware of the one-sided conflicts, the one-sided beefs, the one-sided competition where women have issue with you when you're not thinking about them. Oftentimes, you'll hear that somebody has beef with you or a conflict with you through hearsay, subliminal messages, or you just all out hear it from that person. Sometimes when women have one-sided beefs with you, when they have hidden conflicts against you, it's because of them, not you. Can you imagine somebody disliking you, having an issue with you while you're sitting at home, sipping your tea, listening to your music, while you're reading your Bible, while you're reading your scripture, while you're meditating, talking to God, somebody is all out hating on you and dislike you? Can you imagine being unbothered, taking care of your children, shopping, going to work, working on your businesses, getting your bag, and all the time there's some negative, bitter Betsy sitting back, spreading gossip about you, saying how much she doesn't like you, and she's holding something against you from 2 decades ago? Do you imagine, or can you imagine, that there are some women who are very, very petty that way? They don't like to see you thriving and happy. And when you are a little bit too happy, you're a little bit too unbothered, like I've said in previous videos, there are some women who will take issue with you because you're not giving any energy, time, or attention to their attitude against you. There are actually some women who are so bitter and miserable, and of course this doesn't go just for women, but I speak to women here on All Things Woman. But there are some women who are so bitter towards you simply because you're not returning the energy that they give out to you. Some women try to pick and make issues with women simply because they don't like you. If they don't like you for petty reasons, such as you're cute, you're likable, you're approachable, people are drawn to you, pretty much when they're jealous of you, they will try to nitpick and make conflict with you. They will create imaginary beefs with you because they're insecure and jealous in your presence. When a woman is jealous of another woman and she doesn't have any reason to dislike her, she will often create a reason to dislike her. There are some women who are very petty and jealous and negative that way. You might, this might be your first interaction meeting somebody, and suddenly you hear that the girl doesn't like you, the woman doesn't like you, and you've had minimal interaction with her. Women like this are often your women who are jealous and easily threatened by other women, and because of that, the woman who's the object of their jealousy, their envy, and making them feel insecure on the inside, they have to create an imaginary beef in order to justify their bad behavior toward you. Typically, the woman who's the target of this jealousy and insecurity of another woman, you didn't do anything. You're simply existing in your skin, being yourself. You're being calm, cool, collected. You're looking good, feeling good. You're being cordial with other people. You're not problematic. And when you are that way, there are some women who, because you are that way, they're going to see you as stuck up, conceited, bougie. They're going to see you as everything that they're not in a positive way and try to create imaginary beefs with you. I can't tell you, not so much now, thank God, because I am pushing 40 and fabulous and proud of it. But when I was younger, in my teens and early 20s, I can't tell you how many times women tried to create imaginary beefs with me. I'll give you a one-time story when I was working in the mall, when I was working in the gallery. And this young lady, she saw me talking to a gentleman, which he works across from where I worked. And we would just talk, he's a coworker, he's an employee. We're just talking. And me, when I talk, I'm not like, I'm kind of animated when the conversation is interesting to me. And I smile while I talk. So I guess I was doing a little bit too much smiling while I was talking to him. And now all of a sudden I noticed that the tension, it kind of shifted, like the energy shifted between myself and that young lady. So let me set up the scene for you. I work here. He worked in a little kiosk right across from me, and the young lady worked next door to me. And she would watch me much like that jealous monitoring spirit that likes to watch you from afar and, wish bad on you and create tension on you. She was watching me. I noticed on the side, just looking at me. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, we're just talking about socks. He literally worked at a sock cart, and we were talking about how bad the customers are. That's pretty much what we're talking about. How bad the customers are, being in customer service, dealing with this, dealing with that, making jokes, the usual customer service things. But this girl, I guess I was doing a little bit too much smiling, and she found it her business to walk over and say, so how your girlfriend's doing? How so-and-so? Because she knew his girlfriend. You see where I'm going with this? She's trying to orchestrate a beef. She was trying to orchestrate a beef. Do you know that night when this man's girlfriend came, she was giving me the side eye. And why? Because I'm almost certain this lady went and said something that was not true about me, and now she's trying to put the other woman against me. But me being me, at the end of the night when they were all leaving, I speak to everybody and say, have a good night, y'all, while my boyfriend is standing there waiting for me. These are very teenage, early 20-ish, scenarios and things that I went through. But many of you watching me, you are in your 20s. Some of you even in your 30s and 40s still have to deal with these petty little situations. And I'm trying to school you on how petty and weird some women can be. When they see you being a little bit too likable, they want to create beefs with you, create conflicts, say things about you that are not true simply because your personality, your beautiful, wonderful personality, rubs them the wrong way. And I know this has happened to me in the past, and that's not the only time. I could give you other stories, but I'm not going to get all into my business. But I am very experienced at dealing with the one-sided beefs from other women who you really could give two flying fig trees about. Like, they're not in your thought processing. And believe it or not, that triggers them even more when you don't care about them. Like, when you can see them and not see them, they don't like that. It's like they want you to return the energy that they're giving. If they're being negative and nasty, they want you to feel that and stop. A woman who is jealous and insecure of another woman, her goal is to make you feel so uncomfortable that you stop being you. And that's one thing that we don't do as women. Not when you're in your teens, not when you're in your 20s, not when you're reaching middle age. You never allow the bitterness and negativity of a jealous, insecure woman to stop you from shining and maintaining your beautiful, outgoing, or reserved personality. But a jealous, insecure woman, when she wants to create an imaginary beef with you, she wants you to feel like somehow being yourself, especially if you're more feminine and more kind and more classy. She wants you to feel like, okay, I'm doing too much. It's always that vibe of you're doing too much. And it's because the aura you give off is very light, very gentle, very welcoming. And women who are more savage-like in mentality, when they want to create imaginary beefs with you, is typically with a woman who is not like them. If you end up being the kind of woman who is savage-like, who is negative, who, likes to run people away, you repel people. Because women like that who like to create imaginary beefs with women who are minding their business, they are typically the ones who repel men and women alike. They are typically the women who do not know how to take it easy and just relax. Have you ever came across a woman who's so bitter, so negative, so miserable? Every time she opens her mouth is something negative. Every time she opens her mouth, she has an attitude. Every time she opens her mouth, it's something that makes you cringe because she's so bitter and negative and miserable. And I can hear somebody in the background saying, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what people are going through. We're all going through something or have been through something. As I've said before, that is no reason to spread your negativity onto the next. Deal with yourself. And a lot of women don't want to deal with themselves, and in turn, they like to turn their bitterness, jealousy, envy, and negativity onto other women. But these one-sided beefs, these are things that very much can stem not just from the woman themselves, but from other people instigating things about you that they don't like, and they try to turn other people against you as well. One-sided beefs, When you are familiar with the term and you know exactly what I mean by it, you know that vibe you get where it's like you haven't done anything, but you just get the feeling they just don't like you. Like, what's happening? And I'm not saying that you should care about this, because one-sided beefs are just that. They're one-sided beefs. You don't care. Typically, you're not even aware of it. You just happen to hear things about yourself or hear that somebody's talking bad about you. And often it's like, okay, I understand why. Like Little Kim said in that song, if I was you, I would hate me too. Yeah, I agree with that, because not that you look at yourself in an elevated light, but believe it or not, some women see you as top tier. They see you as a standard. And because of it, they just tend to malfunction and get all out of sorts in your presence. And because they don't know how to show their admiration and just be a girl's girl, they have to create one-sided beefs. They have to imagine in their mind that you looked at them the wrong way. They have to imagine and create in their mind that you said something to them the wrong way. They have to fabricate stories of schemes and tricks and sordid past because they're jealous of you. Because you're shining so brightly and people like you, they have to create those one-sided beefs. And don't let men be involved. My goodness, some women, when it comes to men, they will tear apart their sister. They will tear apart their sister in order to make themselves look more appealing in the eyes of men. But what they don't realize is that a man who is actually valuable, all human life is valuable, but you know what I mean. A masculine man, a man who's valuable, he can see right through those kind of things. And you actually push him toward the woman that he actually wants. He stops settling for you and goes to the woman that he actually wants. And I know that might rub some people the wrong way, but I'm going to be completely transparent with you. When you have some women who are so savage and so bitter and so rough and miserable toward other women, they typically give their men, the men in their lives, that same kind of treatment. I remember when I was an assistant manager in a retail store, and I was ringing up this lady and her boyfriend, I guess, and I was bagging up the stuff, and he was standing there while she was whipping out her debit card. Red flag number one, but that's another video. And I guess he didn't grab the bags quick enough. And she was like, get the bags, Dad, boy, get the bags. And he gave me this look like, save me. And I'm like, that's not, no. Like he had that look as if he's so sick and tired of her. Now, I'm not saying that whatever their dynamic is, like I said, we don't know. I'm just making the point that some women, because they're so harsh and abrasive, they just repel people in general. They don't know how to talk. Their attitude, the mood, it's just too much. And a little bit of a sidebar from this conversation, let's speak about the statue that they have so strategically placed in Times Square in New York. It's a big statue, a tall statue of a Black woman looking tired, worn out, and they are positioning her as every woman. She represents the Black woman. And you have a lot of people who are very disgusted and upset by that statue. And you have some people that are actually praising the statue and saying, thank you for representing us. For me as a Black woman, I'm still trying to figure out in 2025, why do we still need to be highlighted in that way? Like, why are we still seen as some kind of subsect of people when we are the vast majority of people in the world right now? The way I see it. Look, I don't have statistics and all of that for it. I'm just saying there's a lot of us, we're doing a lot of things. Why do we need this? And then of all the representation they could have chosen, why choose to have a woman who looks like she's worn down, tired, and just been dealing with kids all day and she just worn down and tired? And I know some people might take issue with that, but you go on Google. I want you to do this. Go on Google and type in feminine woman. You're not going to see the first images pop up be a Black woman. You're going to see all other nationalities except Black women. I have to use different resources for my thumbnails and stuff, and sometimes I'm looking up feminine women. The first thing that pops up, the only things that pops up, is a bunch of white women. And that's unfortunate. And I tell you this because The representation, the point I'm making, the representation they have of black women is tired, worn out, stressed out, and carrying everybody. And I think a lot of women, especially black women, are getting to the point where we're tired of that representation. Why couldn't you create a fabulous statue of a black woman resting in her femininity? Why couldn't you create a statue of a woman, a black woman who is happy? She looks happy and she looks joyous and, she looks resilient. Why does it have to be the worn out, tired version of the black woman? Like, we are not just that. And I know, like, you have white women who are tired and worn out too, but stereotypically, it's always a black woman who's shown looking tired, worn out, always in casual attire, distracted with something. They got one statue, I think, over in Italy, but they got a black woman with jeans and a t-shirt looking at a phone. Like, we are so much more than that. So I just had to add that in there in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about that statue. Me personally, I'm just like, go ahead somewhere with that, because there's more to us than just being tired and worn out. It's really exhausting to see the same narrative pushed about black women. And what's worse is that you have a lot of black women, a lot of people who are praising the statue as if that's what a lot of black women want. Believe it or not, black women don't want to be worn out, stressed, and tired. It just happens to be the lot that a lot of women have in life right now, unfortunately. But the glorification of being tired, exhausted, and distracted, I don't think that's really what black women want for themselves. That's just what it is for many. But tell me what you think about that statue. And beware of those one-sided beefs, because women who are jealous of you, feel intimidated or threatened by your cuteness, by your personality, by how you carry yourself, they will try to imagine and dream up all kinds of negative things against you. Some women try to antagonize and provoke other women simply because they are not you. When a woman is somehow jealous or feels insecure in your presence, she will try to antagonize you and provoke you to come out of character. Women who are miserable in general and don't like other women may feel jealous, may feel insecure, may feel envious. They will always try to provoke the nice girl into wrath. They will always try to antagonize the nice woman to bring out the worst in her. Jealous, envious, and or miserable people, their goal is to get you out of character as a woman. They want you to get into the trenches, get into the gutter with them. And if you are not careful, you will let them succeed. See, miserable, jealous, insecure women and men alike, when they see a woman doing too well, when they see you carrying yourself with class, decorum, you might be in a professional environment, so you're very professional, very classy. You like to dot your I's and cross your T's. That's doing a little bit too much for a jealous, insecure, and or miserable person. So they will serve as an antagonist in your life to try to get you out of character. Those type of people have very demonic, in my opinion, the way I believe, spirits. And the way they operate is to go about being little busybodies, trying to get under your skin any chance they get. And the reason being is because they are not you. Because they don't carry themselves in the same way that you do. Because they do not get the same response from people that you do. And that absolutely makes them feel horrified. That absolutely rubs them the wrong way. That absolutely makes them feel like they are nothing in your presence. So they have to do something to bring you down to their level. Jealous, miserable people, people who antagonize and provoke decent people, people who are minding their business, being unbothered and staying in their own lane, people who are jealous and miserable, people who are toxic, people who don't know how to act, who don't know how to have class, they get very triggered, especially women against women, women being jealous of other women. They get very triggered by a woman who is unbothered. And that's why I always talk about on this channel being an unbothered woman. Because when you're unbothered, you can recognize these little petty games that other women play and stay away from it and not allow them to get you out of character. What does getting you out of character do for a jealous woman who likes to antagonize and provoke you to wrath? Number one, it shows her that you are no better than her and thus making her feel good about herself. See, miserable people, misery, as they say, truly does love company. So if a woman is able to use her nasty attitude, her nasty tricks to get you to come down to her level and start maybe yelling, start maybe acting crazy, start being nice, nasty, start doing little petty things, she now feels like she's succeeded in bringing you down to her level. Number one. The number two reason why a person, a jealous, miserable woman, would antagonize and provoke you to bring you out of character is to show other people that she's not as great as you all think she is. See, when you are getting attention from other people or getting compliments from other people or other people receive you well, a woman, and you'll often see these kind of things like in workplaces, in schools, anywhere where you have a bunch of women being in the same location, there's typically always at least one who serves as the antagonist in the group or in the environment. She is specifically placed there, in my opinion, by the devil to somehow trick you into coming out of your place. And that's what she wants you to do. She wants you to stoop so low and be so triggered by whatever it is that she's doing and saying that you come out of character and explode. And like many people say with those nice women, the quiet women, you sometimes don't want to poke the bear. And that is a true statement for a lot of women who are more reserved, more kind, more nice, unbothered. And it's because when you have that kind of mentality, when you have that attitude where you're not bothering anybody, but yet they're bothering you, when they come into your space, if you're not careful and you're not refined in your unbotheredhood, you very well can let a woman who likes to provoke and antagonize get underneath of your skin. And we all have dealt with or deal with women who get a kick out of provoking and antagonizing other women. And they often do it with like little condescending tones. They set up little scenarios and situations to try to trap you into coming out of character in some way. But see, women like that who like to bait other women, who like to provoke other women to wrath, what they don't understand is that a lot of times women who are more classy, have more decorum, actually have common sense and wisdom, are almost always like 10 steps ahead of them, as in you already see what they're trying to do and it's not going to work. You treat women like that, like the clowns they are. When they try to provoke you to wrath, provoke you to feel any kind of way to try to get under your skin, you cannot let it get to you. And I know some women are not in their femininity, so you still very much have that, I'm going to show her she can try it if she want to, this kind of thing. But I'm telling you, more than anything else, when you don't give that type of woman any time or attention and her provocation, her antagonization does not work against you, she will often scurry off feeling defeated and move on to her next target. See, women like that only feel good when they can actually get you to give in to their antagonization, when they can get you to give in to the way they're trying to provoke you to get on their level. They don't care like if you even end up calling them out into the streets, wanting to do all these physical things, violence and all of that, which you don't do. But even if you did that, that would be a win for them because it's showing once again that you're no better than them. And you have to leave lowbrow women exactly where they are, in the gutter, because that's where their mind is. Any woman who tries to bait another woman and bring her out of character just because believe it or not, you have some women who look at women who have a decent character, a decent personality, the way you carry yourself just in a decent way. Nobody's perfect, but you are not messy. Some women will be very triggered by the fact that you're not messy, and they will try to orchestrate circumstances to bring you out of character. And especially if you're in an environment like work where it's attached to your money, You often have women who would try to set up special circumstances where they know if it's something's attached to your money, you're going to get irritated and they want to see, okay, watch. I bet you she's going to act like this now. Watch if you do this. Watch how she acts. All that little goody is going to go out the window. You have some women who are so mean and miserable, they actually operate that way. But when you're a woman who operates as if she has options and you disregard that kind of behavior because it's very lowbrow, shallow, petty, childlike behavior, when you disregard that and move on, they end up looking stupid. And that's a win for you. So as a woman who is unbothered and very much 10 steps ahead of petty women, you have to be aware when a woman is trying to bait you, trying to provoke you, and trying to get you to somehow come out of character in some way. There are some women who just don't like seeing other women happy. They don't like seeing other women be level-headed. They don't like seeing other women being so chill. Like they want you on edge and in fight mode at all times. And if you're not like that, they will try to do and say things so that you're in that rah-rah mode. It's very ghetto in nature, in my opinion. So when you're a woman who recognizes those kind of things, and that's not just for women, because you have some men too, where they are so stressed about every little thing, everything somebody does, everything somebody says, absolutely bothers them, especially in the workplace. I don't know about you, but I cannot stand being around men who whine all the time like women. It's bad enough when women do it, but when you have a man who's constantly whining and complaining about something, my goodness, it can make you want to rip your hair out. And then they feel some kind of way when you aren't doing the same thing that they're doing. It's like some people really don't understand the idea of going to work to get a check, going to school to get an education, and coming home. Like all of the additives you do not need. But when a woman, especially when a woman is, she has some kind of alt with you, she has an issue with you, she just doesn't like the way you carry yourself, it makes her feel some kind of way. No doubt, she will organize some kind of circumstance to try to get you out of your character. Do not fall for it. Women like that, because they feel like they don't have anything to lose, they will often help you lose everything. Meaning, let's say for this example, in the workplace, if she knows you're doing well at that job, you might be outperforming her in some way because you're getting more recognition, you're getting more opportunity, you're getting raises and things like that. She's going to go out of her way, especially if she's jealous of you, she's going to go out of her way to try to make it look like you don't deserve what you have because you're being fake. See, women who are jealous and insecure around other women and they try to antagonize and provoke you to be just as mean and nasty and sometimes unprofessional as them, their whole goal is to try to get you down to where they are. They want to sabotage your success, sabotage the things you're accomplishing, sabotage your overall reputation and the way people see you. And if they succeed at that, that is a win for them. And it's simply because a lot of times people don't see them in that same way. See, women who think like that, they don't realize if they worked on their own character, their own personal development, if they got with God the way I believe and got themselves together, they wouldn't have to resort to trying to provoke and manipulate and antagonize another woman in order to get themselves to feel good when another woman comes out of character. And I know this is very ghetto in nature, but you have some women who are like that. They only feel good when they see another woman destroying herself. And that's the reason why, in my opinion, a lot of the so-called sisterhood and the girl's girl thing is kind of non-existent at this point. And even though I very much am a girl's girl, because a lot of women have such a mean-spirited way about them, because a lot of women have a bad habit, a nasty habit of trying to bring the absolute worst out of other women, and you see it all the time. Some women don't even want to be friends with other women unless you're willing to do things that's going to put yourself in jeopardy, be it mentally or physically. You know, if you're not willing to go out to the clubs and get pissy drunk, they don't want to hang out with you. If you're not willing to sleep around with a whole bunch of different people or, interfere in other people's relationships, they don't want to be bothered with you. If you're not willing to be disrespectful and somehow mess up the relationship you're already in, they don't want to be bothered with you. If you take your work and your home life too seriously and you're not willing to be for the streets, even though you're a married woman or you're a mother, they don't want to be bothered with you. A lot of women of today, and I know this might rub some people the wrong way, but I don't care. If you've been on this channel any moment of time, you already know I say some things that I know a lot of people are not going to agree with, but it is what it is. There are some women today that only want to befriend women who are willing to risk it all in order to have a relationship with her, in order to be a friend to her. And a lot of women want to be able to influence other women in a negative way in order to call them their friends. That's why you have to bear in mind the type of friends, the type of people. It's always, remember, quality over quantity, depending on where you are at your life. So when you're a teenager, when you're in your early 20s, you might be able to afford to be around people who are just shooting the breeze, always gossiping, always in some mess. But believe me, as you get older, once you get over the age of 25, and especially into your 30s, you're going to become a lot more selective about the kind of people you surround yourself with. And it's not that you think you're better than somebody else. It's just that you're mindful of the company that you keep, especially depending on where you are in your life. If you are trying to accomplish a lot of things, if you are trying to keep yourself grounded spiritually, if you are trying to keep your family intact, you do not want to be around people, men or women alike, who are going to drag you down. And you have some people who deliberately come into your life, I believe, to try to antagonize and provoke you to do everything wrong. There are some people that see you doing good in life, see you doing good at your job, see you doing good in your relationship, as motherhood, what have you, and they are strategically put there, I believe, to somehow drag you down. And if you're not careful, you will give right into the bait that they're setting up for you. You will give right into the trap that they are setting up for you. But if you're careful and you recognize it for what it is, they will fall into the trap and leave you alone. See, wicked people, jealous people, manipulative people, people who like to provoke other people to do the wrong things, to come out of character, they never succeed. But you have to be a wise woman and recognize it when you see it and don't give into it. Will you sometimes fall into a trap? We're all human. Do people get under your skin? Absolutely, we are all human. But when people, and this is where assessing your circle and your environment comes in play, you have to know the kind of people that you're around. Because if you're dealing with messy people who always have drama with somebody, it's only a matter of time before they have drama with you, before they try to start something with you. And if you're just lackadaisical, walking around acting like, oh, the sky is blue, the birds are chirping, and meanwhile, this woman is in your space trying to get under your skin, saying and doing little things to sabotage you, if you're not aware of it, she will succeed. So as confident, feminine, and wise women, you have to be mindful of when somebody's trying to provoke you and get you to come out of character, and stay 10 steps ahead of them and get away from them if you can.